This is Swim, Success with Music. Yo, what's going on, music fam? This is Success with Music. I am Walt. I am your music coach, your It's Almost Christmas shopper, your I wish I can jump the Black Friday line hopper. Oh, were you standing there? My bad. No, I wouldn't do that. Yo, let's dive in. What's up, music people? What's up, music fam? This is Success with Music. I am your music coach. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the program today. Musicians around the world, around the country, I appreciate you guys tuning in each week to listen to the knowledge that we have to help you get better at your craft. Whether you're a singer, songwriter, instrumentalist, beat maker, or music student, hey, we're about that music life. Yo, today I'm going to pick up on a conversation that I had with a musician yesterday, I believe, or maybe this week. It doesn't matter. The point is, I want to tell you about some things that we talked about this week that may be beneficial for you. And if you heard the episode last week, I mentioned a conversation I had with someone else about music. It seems like these conversations are happening a lot more. How are these people finding my phone number is a different question. But yo, I want to fill you in on the conversation that I had with an up-and-coming musician this week. But yo, before we get into that, I wanted to share some interesting information for you guys at the top of the show. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into some interesting facts for today. I was actually doing a bit of research for the show, like always, and I came across some information for those of you who are into getting your music distributed online through some of those platforms out there that will get you, let's say, onto iTunes, onto Spotify, Pandora, those types of places. I wanted to share some interesting information that I stumbled upon today, and that is downloadable music is becoming a thing of the past. And some of you may be aware of what's going on. What I mean by that is streaming is really gaining a lot of steam. So if you're listening to music from Spotify, if you're listening to tracks from, let's say, Apple Music, many of you guys are not taking the extra step in actually downloading and purchasing individual tracks or full albums from online services like Amazon, as I mentioned before, Apple's platform, iTunes. A lot of us, we're starting to move over into that streaming life to where streaming is really taking over. So when I heard about this fact, and I kind of knew it, I think you also know that is the way the world is going. I wanted to provide some information for you that I found was kind of interesting. One, streaming is gaining a lot of steam. And then two, those who are actually playlist curators, these people are actually growing in strength and influence in the music world. Back in the day, you would have, let's say, some guy sitting at a radio station determining whether or not he's going to give your track some spins. Most of us old school musicians, we would always desire that our music would get some airtime over traditional radio. And don't get me wrong, traditional radio still has power, but things are shifting. Obviously, things are online these days, and more specifically, streaming playlists are now defining the careers of artists, meaning if your song winds up on a very popular playlist, you can actually see your streams increase. You can see your sales increase, your credibility out there increase, your social cred goes up, the whole 9 yards. So the point being is that playlist curators are actually becoming incredibly powerful. Now, some of these major streaming services, they have their in-house music curators, but there are also platforms that allow for other people to build their custom playlists and share them. The point being is that, yeah, if you're in that music life to that level, make sure that you pay close attention to those music curators out there, because those people are eventually going to grow to king maker status as streaming takes over. All right, so let's go ahead and move into our main topic of the day. All right, so at the top of the show, I mentioned me having a conversation with a musician this week. We had a pretty long conversation. I can't go over every single detail of that conversation, but I did pull out a few things that I want to cover with you guys. 4 things specifically that I want to bring to the podcast today. And actually with the interesting fact that we started with at the top of the show with the whole Spotify and the streaming world, I want to tie in that part of the show with one of the things that I mentioned to the musician I spoke with this week. All right, so let me lay the groundwork for you here. I got a call from a guy. He's a young, up-and-coming producer in the city. He makes beats. He does a lot of production. He's helping a lot of different artists. He has one artist in particular that he's doing a lot of composition for. And this musician, I mean, he's all in on the music level here. He's like buying software. He's subscribing for services online. He has a social media profile set up. He's doing research. He's into the marketing. He's looking at music trends. I mean, he's really trying to push his music career to the next level. And of course, the reason why we have this show, a lot of you guys can identify with that. You may not necessarily fit the exact model of what I just outlined, meaning this guy I spoke with, but a lot of us in our own respective ways, we're trying to make that music life happen. So what I wanted to do is bring out 4 major things we discussed that universally may be helpful for the swim audience out there. So the guy calls me and he has like a ton of questions. He got word of what I do and he just wanted to pick my brain and just get a whole bunch of ideas from me. So let's talk about the first thing. He's out there. He's trying to push his music. He's trying to get more exposure for his music. We all are, right? If you had a piece of music and you can simply let the entire world hear it at one time, that would be like the most phenomenal situation ever, right? Everyone, all of us, usually when we have that song, man, we just wish that we can press a button and it's just out there. I mean, that kind of happens with putting your music online, but it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone will have vision to or see or hear your music, right? And that's just the world that we live in. So it's great that we have access to tools that can get us out there globally, but a lot of times you won't be seen globally. It's just, again, that's how it works. So one of his major questions for me was, hey, I want to get my music out there. I want to push it hard. I'm willing to invest in my own craft. Should I pay for promotion? And specifically, he was referring to some of these promotional tools online. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen these things before, but I've received like a ton of emails, direct messages about, we can blow you up. We can get you so many views on YouTube. We can get your song in front of different industry people, or we can get a whole bunch of likes for your music. And the list goes on. I've seen a ton of these things. And if you are in the position to where you simply want to get your music out there, these promotional offers may seem pretty tempting. It was for the guy I was speaking with. So again, he's asking me, hey, Walt, so if you were my position, would you spend the money on these promotional services? My answer to him and to you is no. And let me explain. Yes, you need to get your music out there, but no to having to pay some company to put your music out there. What I told him is that I believe that if he's going to spend money on promoting his music, which you should, don't have someone else do it. I rather you go and take that money and you go out and promote your music. Now, a lot of you, as soon as I said that, your eyes are starting to glaze over because you're like, I don't want to do it. I don't know anything about promotion. That's not what I want to be focused on. I just want to do other things. I get it. But here's the thing. If you don't know how promotion works, if you don't know where to market your music and how to get some pub for your music, and you just trust that some random company online can do it for you, guess what could potentially happen? Someone can take your money, say that they put your music out there, and you get nothing for it. And I'm not saying that's true of every promotional operation out there. But what I am saying is that if you don't go through the trouble of learning about promotion on your own, how do you know that your money is being well spent? If they're charging you $50 for X or $100 for Y or $500 for the gold package, what does that mean? Are you actually getting a deal? So my recommendation to you is take your money and do your own promotion in the beginning. Maybe get into, and we talked about this in previous episodes in the music marketing episode. Go and look that up here on our show, in our show log. We talked about music marketing, doing certain things like social media marketing on your Facebooks and YouTubes and IG and things like that. You can do those things yourself. Watch a few videos online and you'll learn some basics about promotion. But again, am I a big fan of promos from these companies? I don't know, because they usually promise huge things like industry execs will hear your tracks. Your tracks will be heard by decision makers in Hollywood. If that were true, that means that everyone that is doing business with this company would be blowing up. And most likely that's probably not the case. Here's another thing, and I want to tie this back to my show intro here. There are some of these services online, and I want you to listen to me very carefully for those of you who are putting music out on streaming platforms in places like YouTube, Spotify, Pandora. There's a whole bunch of others. I'm not going to name them all. The point is, some of these companies will tell you that, hey, if you pay us X dollars, we will get you so many streams on Spotify, so many fans or what have you, or so many people subscribing to your song that's on a certain playlist. If I were you, I would be very, very cautious because, number one, most likely these are not real fans. These are not real people. It's probably, I'm not sure if you heard of this term before, a click farm, where there are people out there, believe it or not, that are paid most times in third world countries to go to various websites, log in and click a button, go to another site, click a button. That's all they do. That's where your money's going. It's not like someone's in some huge metropolitan city just sitting back, just vibing to your music, man. Yeah, they're not. It's just a fake service. Sometimes it can be robot driven, meaning it's a computer program going out spamming sites. That's not worth it to me. Those are not real people. Those are not real fans. And so, yeah, it may look good to you and to your friends to say, yo, my new track got, 500 new streams or whatever. It may not be a real person on the other end. And that's the danger of paying for these promo related activities. One more note about this and I'll move on. If you are paying to artificially boost your activity on platforms that pay royalties, you can wind up having your account shut down. You got to be very, very careful about that. Here's what I mean. If, for instance, you have music on, let's say, YouTube, if you set your account up right, you can actually get ad revenue and royalties from music coming through your YouTube channel. When they see people getting like 1 million YouTube views or whatever, there's money in that. Now, if you go out and hire a company to artificially boost the views on a video, and in turn, let's say you monetize that and get some money back off of that same video, if YouTube catches wind of that, guess what? They're going to shut you down. And the same thing applies to Spotify and any other service that pays out royalties for streams. So I'm telling you, please, if you can, on the promotion side of things, just put your own money into it. Yeah, as you grow, can you hire a promotion company? For sure. But a lot of these that promise a huge amount of success overnight, you know where I'm going with that. All right, I'll leave that one alone. Let me give you the next thing that we talked about. And we covered this next topic here on a previous podcast, copyrights. So, and if you can, go back to the show logs. If you just go back to Success with Music, the swim episodes, if you dig through there, you will see an episode on understanding copyrights. But let me give you a brief piece of it here because this guy asked about it. He was saying to me, hey, so I'm making these beats. My music is out there. I'm afraid of someone stealing my music. I'm going to blast through the